You know, we're always trying to improve our aim and our movement mechanics, but what if I told you one of the most important aspects of the game was actually managing your inventory? What's going on, guys? It's your motivation guy, Keith Allen, and today we're gonna be taking a deep dive into just that. You know, what you should be looting and when. And so while it may seem easy to snatch up loot till your backpack is full, there's just so much more to it than that. You guys ready for this? Let's get this going. All right, guys, so first, we gotta discuss our mindset when it comes to looting. Okay, so you should look at looting in Apex as a gradual climb in power. Every item you pick up making you stronger and stronger. So it's important to be dynamic about your looting and how you manage your inventory space, all right? While we would all love to drop into a Peacekeeper in R301 every game, this just isn't gonna happen. You are much more likely to drop into a Mozambique and an alternator and have to make do while you find those coveted loadouts. But that's all right. Like, you can transition your looting throughout the game to ensure you are set up for success. And so rather than passing on the guns you aren't looking at running all game, grab them, their ammo, and any attachments you find. This will make it much easier to hold onto these attachments as you rarely want to be putting attachments in your backpack. And on top of this, when you come across that stronger light weapon or shotgun, you can swap over to them, already having some extra pieces to make them even more powerful. And so this mindset to looting is just how we want to approach every aspect of our inventory management. The ability to adapt your loadout to the items you find is crucial to making sure you're as strong as you can be with the resources you've got. As you get games under your belt thinking about these inventory paths, it's going to come natural to look at your low Mozam, alternator loadout, and see the Peacekeeper, R301 monster it could soon become. We also got to touch briefly on how your squad composition can impact what you're looking to loot. So the two primary items that I want to talk about are ultimate accelerants and grenades. It's good to know if you have a legend on your squad who gets good value out of ultimate accelerants. And so while you can always just pop them when you find them, you really don't want to be using inventory space on these guys if you don't have legends that can get a ton of value out of them. And so characters who have high impact ultimates with a high cooldown get the most use. If you have a Lifeline, Valkyrie, or even Gibraltar on your squad, it may be useful to ping these out for them or just take them yourself if that happens to be you. Watson also gets good use out of these herself and can stack 2 of them in 1 inventory slot. So if you're looking to hold into accelerants and you have the static defender on your team, see if she will carry them. If you have to sub out a slot in your inventory to make room, be smart about it. Maybe swap it out for a grenade or some extra healing you were holding onto, but make sure you aren't shorting yourself on heals. Speaking of grenades, if you're a Fuse or have a Horizon on your squad, it may be worth hoarding more of these than normal. Maybe the strongest part of Fuse's kit, he can have 2 grenades stacked in each slot, letting him nade spam if he's gathered them up. And if you have a Horizon on your team, her black hole is a nade's paradise, allowing her squad to guarantee big damage when comboed well. Be sure to take mental note of who's on your squad before dropping in, so you can be sure to loot as effectively as possible. You know, getting the most power out of your squad is a whole lot easier when everybody is well looted and prepared. So while we aren't going to talk too much about specific loadouts in this video, it's important to know that the weapons you choose to use can impact how you think about your inventory. For example, the shotties and snipers require a lot less ammo as they have much lower fire rate than, say, the R301 or the Spitfire. These weapons also tend to be your entry and finisher weapons, as their ranges lend themselves to being used in short bursts. With shotguns, you generally aren't going to pull them out until you're in close quarters with an enemy, finishing a fight. And with snipers, you're using them to get a big chunk of entry damage, or finish off a fleeing opponent. And so due to that, you generally can get away with having 1 stack of shotty bullets, and maybe just a couple for snipers. Same goes for a wingman and bow chick, which only need a few stacks of ammo. These guys excel in mid-range, so they can just go through a bit more if you're using them often. It's generally good not to have 2 weapons in your loadout that require a ton of ammo. If you run a high rate of fire weapon as your primary and secondary, you can find yourself having to overhoard ammo to keep from running out. And so most auto weapons need 4 to 5 stacks of ammo to keep from running out through the game. So running 2 of them would have you carrying up to like 9 or 10 stacks of ammo. It's a huge waste of bag space, just don't do it. You also want to be mindful of what loadouts your squad is running. You know, diversifying your weapon loadouts will help you be more well-rounded in fights, but also you will not be taking valuable ammo or attachments from each other. And so while this may not always be noticeable, if you have 2 squad mates running energy weapons, all 3 of you are just running heavy ammo, you're going to be taking each other's loot. And so thinking about this as you make your way through the game could be a game changer. Your squad having more kitted weapons and enough ammo in reserves. So the goal here is to make sure that we have enough ammo for a loadout to succeed, while not having so much that it just clogs up our bag and keeps us from holding viable heals or nades. And so if you're having trouble with figuring out which loadouts to run, maybe you're just having inventory issues, or maybe you just want to know what the strongest setups are right now, you guys got to check out our video on the most OP weapons in Season 9. The link is going to be in the description. With the addition of the starter pack in Season 9, early game looting is a bit smoother, allowing you those couple extra slots to hoard some goodies. That being said, if you aren't mindful of what you are hanging on to, from the moment you drop in, you can really make the game a lot harder on yourself. So let's take an in-depth look at an example and how you can transition your loadout through a game, putting everything we have discussed so far into practice. Let's say that you and your squad finish up at your first POI, and you're still sitting on a white backpack, an alternator, and a Mozam. Okay, I know it's not the best look, but we held on to the Mozam because we found a purple shotgun bolt, and we have a couple of light attachments on our alternator as well. At this point in the game, we may not have the best weapons, but we should look to get our backpack looking something like this. We want enough ammo for our primary weapon to take extended gunfights at medium range and not risk running out. With the alternator and many of the light weapons we would be swapping it for being high fire rate, 4 stacks of ammo should be our goal. And for our Mozam, 1 extra stack of shoddy ammo should be plenty because we're just looking to use it in a pinch close range. This ammo setup will leave us enough room to get a stack of shield batteries, 2 stacks of shield cells, a stack of syringes, a stack of med kits, and a grenade or 2. If you come across a Phoenix kit, you can always take it instead of the med kit, but generally, they aren't super strong till later in the game. And so with that being said, if you happen to drop on purple armor, go ahead and take that PK. Now, I know you won't always come across this perfect setup, so like we talked about, be smart about your looting. If you have extra slots, don't leave them empty. Maybe, you just take a little extra heals or ammo until you find grenades, or if you're short on ammo, fill that slot with the grenade as you keep looking. You should always be looking to improve what you got in your backpack. So just a side note, grenades are incredibly powerful. At all stages in the game, a good arc star or frag can win your squad a fight. And depending on your chosen weapon types, the number of ammo stacks you have to take will impact how many grenades you can run. So keep this in mind, guys, when choosing your loadout. Further into the game now, maybe you and your team have taken down a squad or 2 and have looted another POI. Finally, you find yourself the weapons upgrades you were looking for, swapping your attachments over to a Peacekeeper and an R301. And now you're feeling good, right? You also looted a blue backpack, so we have a couple more slots to work with. Here you should look to add another stack of light ammo for your R301 and another stack of shield cells to give you more quick shield regen. Usually at this point in the game, your fights are going to start getting a bit longer, with teams being more looted and just ready to hold their ground. So the extra ammo and shields will keep you guys in the fight. If you happen to come across a gold armor, you can swap out your shield bats and med kits for shield cells and syringes as it doubles their healing and shielding. And so while this is a nice power spike in the mid game before everybody has their red evos, we recommend swapping it out for your own red evo before it gets too late. And so the healing is nice, but when you have ample access to batteries, the extra shielding on a red evo can really save you in fights. As you make your way through the rest of the game, if you get your hands on a purple or gold backpack, this is where you should look to carry a Phoenix kit and some more grenades. With bigger armor pools, Phoenix kits can have very high value, and grenades can be a great way to start off fights or force enemies out of cover. And so while grenades are incredible at all stages of the game, you usually only have the freedom to run more than 2 after finding a purple backpack. At this stage in the game, you should be looking to top off your supply, maybe swapping to extra grenades or more batteries, but keeping a well-rounded inventory so you're fully prepared for extended fights in the later rings. The more you play with these guidelines in mind, guys, the more natural it's going to feel to have a smooth looting progression throughout the game. So you should figure out guns of each ammo type and their attachments that you can use to progress throughout a match so that you aren't wasting inventory space. Be sure to know how much ammo your guns need in extended gunfights, and don't pick weapon combinations that require you to lug around a ton of ammo. Also, pay attention to your squad mates to know if carrying ultimate accelerants or extra grenades would be beneficial for any of your members. And always know what level backpack you have and what kinds of loot you can afford to carry and what you can't. Look guys, I know your game will elevate if you take these tips and tricks that we discussed today and really put them into practice, because learning to manage your inventory will set you up for success in every single game. If you guys liked the video, make sure you sub to the channel. And if you want to connect with me on my Instagram, I'm right here at Your Motivation Guy. I believe in you guys, man. Keep going, never quit. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.